You'd think coming home from a war zone, the last thing I'd have to fight for was my own front door. But that's the thing about battles. Sometimes you win the one you trained for, only to get blindsided by the one you never saw coming. The day I set foot back in the States, the sun felt wrong, the ground felt wrong, and the look on my wife's face was a warning I should have heeded the second I saw her standing outside a run-down motor lodge, holding a key like it weighed 100 pounds. She didn't run into my arms, didn't cry, didn't even smile. Leah just gave me that tired look, the one people get after bad news has worn them down past caring. "Hey," she said, like we'd been fighting the same ghost all this time. The motel room stank of bleach and old fast food. The kind of place folks disappear in, not start over. I sat down, duffel bag hitting the floor, heart already thudding with a different kind of dread. Military instinct kicked in. I scanned the room. No luggage, no food, just a battered manila folder and a box of receipts. I asked about Ranger, our dog. She didn't answer, just pushed the folder my way. "Start here," she said, voice so soft it nearly broke me. Inside, pages of legal jargon, code violations, a deed transfer, the words emergency bylaw authority stamped on a form I'd never seen. My name forged with all the subtlety of a DMV con artist. They said we'd abandoned the house, that our mailbox was the wrong color, the grass too high, the window blinds not conforming to community standards. The HOA, always the HOA, had decided while I was halfway across the world my family had no place here. And they moved fast, like predators who know when the alpha's away. I clenched those papers so hard my knuckles burned. Leah just watched, hollow-eyed. "They changed the locks while I was at work, John." Walked right in. Karen from the board, Chad, and a couple of big guys I'd never seen. Her voice started to shake. They said I was interfering with enforcement. Chad shoved me. She turned her arm, a bruise blooming beneath her sleeve. Ugly, purple-black. I went cold. I wanted to break something, someone. But she just shook her head. "I didn't call. You were in a forward zone. I didn't want you to worry." Didn't know what to say. I wanted to scream. But I sat there, hands locked around the folder. "Where's Ranger?" I managed. She bit her lip. They said he was aggressive. HOA complaint. Animal control. Took him from the yard. Her voice cracked. She covered her face. Said I'd lose him if I interfered. I left that motel in a blur, drove straight to the county shelter with sand still in my boots. The building squatted behind a works depot, ugly as sin. I walked in, the young woman at the desk stiffening as I approached. "I'm here for Ranger," I said, more order than request. She blinked, tapped keys, looked nervous. Then a bark, a low, mournful sound I'd have known anywhere, echoed down the hall. He came out on a leash too tight, held by a tech who wouldn't meet my eye. The second ranger saw me. He lunged, crying, pawing, trembling. I dropped to my knees, buried my face in his fur. He smelled like fear and disinfectant, but he was alive. I checked him, shaved patch on his leg, burn scar on his shoulder, bloodshot eyes. When the tech unclipped his leash, Ranger growled, a warning, pure and simple. "He's been like that since the second day," the tech muttered. "Wouldn't let us near him without gloves." I demanded the incident report. The desk girl slid it over. Karen's words painted my wife as unstable, our dog as a danger, me as unresponsive and aggressive. Slander on paper. I pushed it back. "Keep it, but know it's a lie, and you'll be hearing from me." Back at the motel, Leah burst out the door the moment she saw a ranger, dropped to her knees, sobbing as he pressed himself between her and the road, his guard position. Later, after she fell asleep curled up with him at her feet, I sat in the dark flipping through documents, rage burning hotter than any firefight. Karen had done this, not just to us, to the whole damn community. I called in a favor to a buddy from my old unit, a data wizard. In 24 hours, I'd have everything I needed. When you fight on the battlefield, you know the rules. When you fight the HOA, there are no rules, just paperwork and power plays. I showed up at Karen's house with legal filings, forgery affidavit, petition for emergency reversal, everything notarized and ready to make her sweat. Handed them over through her screen door. "You've got 48 hours to vacate what you stole and answer for the forgery, or you face the courts." She barely blinked. Men like you always think you still own something. I leaned in, voice low. You think you're the first petty tyrant I've dealt with? I pulled the server logs. Your assistant used the HOA clubhouse computer to forge my signature while I was 6,000 miles away. Game's over, Karen. But it wasn't. The next morning, my truck wouldn't start, gravel in the gas tank. Then a notice slipped under the motel door. Community disturbance. Leah yelling for Ranger after he barked once. And then, worst of all, Ranger disappeared again. Only his leash remained, sliced clean. My phone pinged. Anonymous burner number, screenshot of a Facebook post, aggressive stray dog spotted near Clover Lane. Comments calling animal control, suggesting he was military trained and dangerous. Karen wasn't just trying to destroy us. She wanted to turn our dog into a villain, erase our whole family from the map. That night, Leah sat on the motel bed, staring at the wall. I'm done losing family, she whispered, voice flat. Not just about Ranger. About us. About losing the man I used to be. The one who laughed, who cooked pancakes at 2 a.m., who didn't wear revenge like a second skin. I took her hand. Then we ended. Tonight. She handed me Ranger's spare collar, a GoPro mount. In case they come back, she said. Turns out while I was plotting legal routes, she was planning our defense. Karen forgot what happens when you corner people with nothing left to lose. At dawn, we rolled into the neighborhood, cameras rolling. The house looked hollow, flag gone, new plastic HOA sign in the yard, future community relaxation zone. I knocked. Karen appeared at the window, syrupy-voiced. You have no authority to be here, she smirked. And you have no authority to forge documents, but here we are. I flashed the court order. Cops showed up, Karen claiming verbal threats. I handed over proof, forged signatures, deployment records. You served 4 tours? The younger officer asked, eyes wide. This was my house, my dog, my wife. Leah stepped out, camera rolling. They took her dog. They vandalized our truck. Now they're rewriting history. The officer nodded. This stays civil till we verify. Karen hissed, a sound so ugly even the birds went quiet. But then my phone rang, unknown number. You want your Belgian Malinois? You've got until noon. Then we let him go. It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. I started digging, found a name buried in HOA files. A contractor payout, pet control action, signed by Karen and a shadow called Dolan Creel. Not animal control. A cleaner. We hit the tow yard, quiet, weapons grade silent. Ranger was chained inside a cage, cut on his leg, eyes blank. I dropped to my knees, unlocked him. That's when Creel stepped out, a man with the calm of someone who's hurt for hire. You laid hands on my family, I said. Leah's GoPro was running. You just confessed, she snapped. Creel lunged. I put him down fast, years of muscle memory, elbows, knees restraint. Name, I demanded. Through split lips, Karen. We took everything, videos, files, confessions, and blew it up online. Sent to every station, blog, rescue network. The HOA's dirty laundry out for the world to see. Next day, at the emergency board meeting, Karen stood beneath a limp banner, crowd restless. I dropped files beside the cookies. Notarized forms, forged signatures, illegal payouts. Leo wheeled in the monitor. Creel's confession, photos of Ranger. The crowd gasped, board members pale. One by one, they voted Karen out. She clung to her clipboard like it could save her, but it was over. Neighbors apologized, offered food, advice, their own stories. Justice, it turned out, felt a lot like relief and not much like celebration. The next morning, I found a note on my windshield. Watch your 6. Later, mail went missing, bogus fines arrived, raw meat laced with tranquilizer scattered in our yard. Karen wasn't done. She was just getting mean. Then Leah was attacked. Karen's husband followed her in the parking lot, put her in the hospital. I saw her swollen arm, split lip. Something in me broke. I walked to his house, didn't say a word, dropped him with a punch in front of the whole block. Karen shrieked, threatened legal hellfire. Not as much as you will, I said, voice dead calm. Threats escalated. Stalked photos. Dog collar snapped in half. Leah whispered, end this. That was all I needed. I called my brothers, Benji, and Marcus. Vets who owed me nothing but came running. War room on my kitchen table. They dug through every record, email, bylaw. Found the smoking gun, a fake board member, voluntary relinquishment forged, a payout trail leading straight to Karen. We went public. Marcus hacked the HOA live stream, dropped the files. Benji confronted her at a press conference. Police rolled in with a warrant, fraud, embezzlement, intimidation, animal abuse. Karen was cuffed on her own lawn. Leah squeezed my hand. For the first time in months, she smiled, really smiled. They dissolved the HOA that day. The whole street exhaled. Neighbors came by with muffins, paint rollers, real support. For weeks, we rebuilt. Then, one last envelope. Karen in an orange jumpsuit, holding a placard. Standards not met. On the back, you win. Leah laughed so hard she nearly spilled her coffee. We grilled that night, rangers snoring in the sun. And it hit me, it was never about the house. It was about being believed, about standing your ground when the world stacked against you with paperwork and power games. Karen lost because she forgot we were a family, not just names on a deed. So that's how I came home to another war. And that's how I won. Justice isn't a signature or a verdict. It's seeing your wife dance barefoot in the backyard, knowing no clipboard tyrant will ever steal that again. But let me ask you, when the system turns against you, when the people with power try to rewrite the rules, what would you do to protect your family? Where do you draw the line? Drop your story below. I want to hear, when did you decide enough was enough? Let's see who else is tired of fighting for what's already theirs.